The Kurds in Armenia mainly live in the western parts of Armenia. The Kurds of the former Soviet Union first began writing Kurdish in the Armenian alphabet in the 1920s, followed by Latin in 1927, then Cyrillic in 1945, and now in both Cyrillic and Latin. The Kurds in Armenia established a Kurdish radio broadcast from Yerevan and the first Kurdish newspaper Rya Taza. There is a Kurdish department in the Yerevan State Institute of Oriental Studies. The Kurds of Armenia were the first exiled country to have access to media such as radio, education and press in the native tongue, but many Kurds, from 1939 to 1959, were listed as the Azeri population or even as Armenians. Kurds in Armenia. The historical treatment from Armenia toward Kurds, especially Muslim Kurds, can be explained with that Armenia is disappointed with the fact that most Kurdish Muslim tribes in western Armenia participated on the Ottoman Empire's side during the deportation of the rebellious Armenian populations. In the Democratic Republic of Armenia of 1918 to 1920, the Kurds received political rights. A Kurdish representative elected to the Armenian parliament. Some Kurds became officers of Armenian army and organized Kurdish volunteer units. During the Soviet period, a large number of Kurdish literature was published in Armenia. National schools and radio were open. According to the Great Soviet Encyclopedia, the Soviet Armenia was the main center of Kurdish literature. In 1925, more than 50 schools were opened for the Kurds of Armenia. During the period of Stalinism in 1937, the Kurds in Armenia became victims of forced migration. Thousands of Kurds were forcibly deported from Armenia. According to the director of the Center of Kurdish Research, the situation with Kurds in Armenia today is normal and there is not any open intolerance. In the period between 1992 to 94, the Kurdish population of Lakan and Kelbayar districts of Azerbaijan was forced to flee due to Armenian invasion. During the Nagorno-Karabakh War, Armenia has effectively occupied the former region Red Kurdistan, as it is used as a crucial land corridor that connects Armenia with the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. Kurdish-Armenian cultural relations. Prominent Armenian composer Komitas notated many Kurdish folk songs included Lure. Komitas was a guest of Hasan Aga in Aslan village, where he participated at the Kurdish evenings. Komitas loved the Kurdish popular art, and in 1897 he made a diploma research at Berlin Conservatory on Kurdish music. Armenian writer V. Artanes Parpazian translated the legend of Lure into Armenian. Armenian poet Hovhan Shiraz used the motives of Kurdish legend in his famous poem Siamantuan Kyazare. Prominent Kurds of Armenia. Saladin was a Kurdish Muslim who became the Sultan of Egypt and Syria. He led the Islamic opposition to the Franks and other European crusaders in the Levant. Shakro Mgoi is an Orientalist, member of Armenian National Academy and editorial staff of Rya Taza, Kurdish newspaper. He published 14 books, included the first academical publication of Kurdish history research. Shahkaz Rash is studied at Yerevan Pedagogical University and is an author of poems and literary researches in Kurdish and Armenian languages. He is also the editor of Mesopotamia Journal. Fatma Isa is a Kurdish folklore singer of Yerevan Radio.